Good afternoon and welcome to what I think must be one of the most picturesque sporting grounds in Australia, if not the world. We are at the Greenway enclosed oval this afternoon, just adjacent to the Tuggeranong Town Centre. It's off to behind us to our left. My name is Chris Coleman, and this afternoon in the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup Round 6, we have the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, the home side, up against the Woden Valley Rams, and here you can see what I'm talking about. A magnificent view here as we look off to the, I guess we can call it the northern foothills of the Snowies, isn't it? Off in that direction or a little bit further around to your right. We can't quite go that far, but the Snowy Mountains. Behind the grandstand here, there are more hills. We're not far from the upper reaches of the Murrumbidgee River, the mighty Murrumbidgee. And I've been to sporting arenas in many, many countries, and this view would have to be right up there with them. Let's hope that we can get a game this afternoon worthy of such a panorama. It is the 2017 Canberra Raiders Cup, the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup. We are into round 6. And for these two sides, it's a kind of important game because you get the feeling that these two sides may wind up in the mix against each other for a berth in the finals. We'll get to the standings on the table in the moment. As you can see, the teams making their way out. That's the Tuggeranong Bushrangers in their predominantly red strip this afternoon. The Woden Valley Rams in their traditional yellow and blue hoops as they make their way out onto the ground as well. Last week for these sides, the Woden Valley Rams had a tough one. They went down to the West Belconnen Warriors, 22 points to 30. The Tuggeranong Bushrangers, they were up against the Yass Magpies. Now, there was an injury in that game. It was a very, very long delay, 30 or 40 minutes if I'm remembering correctly, before the Bushrangers prevailed up there at Walker Park, 26 points to 16. So that was last week. But this week, as you can see, action getting underway very, very soon in round 6 of the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup for this afternoon. And let's see if we can just get a few more details up before the game starts. I don't think we're going to because we're pretty close to starting. I'll tell you very quickly who else is playing this afternoon. It's almost local derbies this afternoon. Gungahlin v Goulburn, West Belconnen versus Belconnen, and Queanbeyan versus Yass. So we've got a couple of local derby type games on this afternoon. It will be the Tuggeranong Bushrangers to kick off. They will be running from right to left on your screen. The Woden Valley Rams to receive. And we are just about ready for the action here on Bar TV. Saturday afternoon footy from a venue that was used as a training venue for the 2000 Olympic Games. So there's been some great names grace this field in the past. It is a real focal point for the sporting activity in and around the Tuggeranong community. It's a true multi-purpose field. You might be able to pick up during the course of the afternoon some of the additional markings that are out there. There are soccer markings, there are AFL markings. I think there's even been a bit of gridiron played here in the past as well. I'm just waiting for, we're waiting for a ball to come out. Is that a possibility? It might be. There's no ball out there on the tee. A couple of changes to these sides as I was right, they're waiting for the ball to come out. Jordan Hammond was named at 5'8" for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. He's not taking to the field. Instead, Blake Murray will be in the 6 jersey. And a couple of other changes. Brent Wallace was originally meant to start at lock. He's been demoted to the bench. Wayne Bullock moves from the second row to lock. And Jamal Nachuki comes into the starting lineup for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers in the 12 jersey. And for the Woden Rams, they are 1 to 13 as per program. One change on the bench, number 16. Andrew Maifelamai has been replaced by Sean Maloney. As the kickoff comes, footy in the southern parts of Canberra this Saturday afternoon, coming to you live on Bar TV, wherever you might be around the world. And don't forget, you can always get in touch with me at Twitter. I'm at CJCAU. And the hashtag to use for all our Canberra Raiders Cup games for 2017 is CR Cup. Woden Valley bringing it out from their own end at the moment. Thought it might have been Stephen Ferry about to get hold of it, but I like to go the other way. Across to the left, cutting out a couple. It'll be Luke Hicks. We've got the two Hicks boys in 11 and 12. That's Luke. Now it's with Stephen Ferry, almost to the 40. Hard hit early in this game. Last tackle called by the referee. Interesting to see them not go for the pass straight off. Instead, it's a kick downfield from Joshua Feeney Picked up by Dane Ewing for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, and they get their first opportunity to attack. Ball comes free. It's been retrieved there by Pazantzis for the Rams, and now it's gone loose again and been picked up by the Bushrangers. So it's going all over the place. Knock on here and knock on there. EIEIO, and we'll come back for the scrum. A little bit of excitement to get us started here. What, we're only about a minute 20 seconds into this game. One of the better scoreboards around Canberra at this ground, so we can actually keep an eye on the game clock down to the second. We don't always have that as an opportunity, so that's nice to be able to give you an accurate representation this afternoon. Ball goes in, ball comes out, referee's not happy. We'll do it all again. Early attacking opportunity for the Rams, you would think. They go out through the back line. Is that Thomas Hicks moving out into the backs? He was listed to start in the second row. I'm not sure whether it was him or it was, yeah. So I'm not quite sure what he was doing, but he's back in the thick of it now. Goes across through hands. That might be Keb Vato. Come back across to the right. Stephen Ferry possibly would have been a better option. They go for the cutout, trying to find Ron Leopine. He loses the ball, knocks it forward, and an attacking run comes to nothing for the Woden Valley Rams. Ball security. Come on, boys. I know it's early in the game. First time I've seen the Woden Valley Rams in action this season. In fact, first time I've seen the Tuggeranong Bushrangers in action this season. So, see what they can come up with today. So they're both on the fringes of finals berths. Admittedly, we're only 6 weeks in. Gee, this game was just such a scrappy start. Three and a half minutes in, we've seen, I think, 3 knock-ons, 2 scrums. We are all over the place here this afternoon. They go forward once again through Thomas Hicks. And uses an attacking weapon, as is Jeffrey Morgan. He's held up a couple of metres short. And then slammed to the turf. They've got lots of numbers out to the right. Long ball here, should score. They go for the kick. Chasing through will be Luke Johnson. Shepherded over the line, though, by Jaden Pollard from the Bushrangers. No score. They had the numbers. I would have liked to have seen a couple of long passes there. May have proven to be a different outcome. Still no score, though. 4 minutes gone. Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup match of the round here on Bar TV. So the Bushrangers, they have had very little possession so far this game. Can they do anything with it on this occasion? They start from their own 20, which helps them out. In at dummy half was Josh Mitchell, their captain. I'm not sure if that was Uluwakiola being pushed back there or if this is him now. That's him now. He's a big unit, Mikey Uluwakiola. Had a very quick chat with him before the game. Certainly in a good mood today and in some fine form. And now the Bushrangers appealing for the penalty. It's all very, very slow to get up, those Woden Valley Rams, and the Bushies indeed get the penalty they were seeking. So they'll be set up for a good attacking run here. That's not a bad-looking kick either. That's going to be right down almost to the 20. Wouldn't want to be buying real estate off that touch, Judge. I think he's shortchanged him by a couple of metres. Let's see how they go. Mitchell in at dummy half, gives it to Papali, John Papali. No, it was the other one. It was Uluwakiola again. There's a lot of similarity in build and hairstyle between those two. My apologies. This time it is Papali. Charges towards the post. Takes a couple with him. About 3 metres short. Do they go left or right? They go to the right. Long ball. Onto the halfback, Cannon. Quinn Cannon. Not quite enough speed for him. I'll come back to the left. You would imagine they do that through Holmes. They've actually been the dummy play there. Not sure where Holmes has gone. Was him there. Certainly setting up plenty of options, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers at the moment. But, again, it comes to nothing, and we wind up with another scrum. You're really starting to get the feeling here this game may come down to who actually hangs onto the ball for the longest. Referee not happy about something down there. We tried to have a listen to the referee's communications earlier this afternoon. I have a whole new admiration for how the referees and the touch judges work down there, because I could not understand a word that was coming through. As though they were talking with a mouthful of marbles under wet cement. So we had a crack. That's about all we can do. The Rams. Well, that's can we see that again? Because that was a pretty ordinary looking pass for mine. And I'm not sure whether it was a pure forward pass or whether it's bounced off a Bushrangers player in defence. Whatever it is, it's a terrible waste of possession. No, I think he's just completely lost it forward. Certainly looks like it. Didn't have any control over it. Welcome back to the Scrumathon at Greenway Enclosed Oval. If you've just joined us, you haven't missed anything. I can say that safely. We've had lots of scrums, and that's about all. I'm getting a knowing nod from some of the Rams boys up here. You're the Rams boys, are you? Yeah, getting a knowing nod from the Rams boys. So they're all in agreement. Let's see what happens this time. Tautai charges forward for the Bulls. They're only about 6 metres out. This is a good-looking opportunity. They've got plenty across to the left. Who do they go with? They go to Murray, and then it's into Uluakiola, and I reckon he might have got it down. He has indeed. First try of the day. Set play coming from a scrum, couple of plays off the scrum, and it is Mikey Uluakiola going in. You can see it here. Really, he got that ball at speed, and there was no great option for anyone to be able to stop him. He's a big unit, going fast, and the first points go on the board for the Bushrangers. They lead 4-0, kick to come, and we've got about 8 minutes gone here in the first half on Bar TV this afternoon. I know I was perhaps poking a little bit of fun at the fact that we'd seen a lot of scrums here this afternoon. But in the end, if you keep seeing scrums inside the 20-metre line being fed by attacking teams, one of them's got to do something in the long run. And on this occasion, it's the home side, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, who strike first. The kick to be taken by Josh Mitchell. We are in just about the perfect position for this. You'll see it when we go to the wide. What can the Bushrangers captain do? Hang his head and just sort of wander away and say, I'll do better next time, I suspect. So no conversion, but a try to Mikey Uluakiola for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. And we're coming up to the 10-minute mark, and we have a 4-0 ball game. Rams go for the deep kick off and try and play the game down the other end of the park. Probably not such a bad idea, but they'll need the ball back first. Bushrangers making their way out slowly. Gee, the chemistry's good between the 10 and 11 for the Bushrangers, and now they've got it on 2. I think that might be Bo Donovan on the wing. He's kicked it. Oh, Bo Donovan, the centre, playing out on the wing. He kicked it through for Jaden Pollard. Pollard didn't have the speed to get to it. Having said that, I don't think the Flash would have had the speed to get to it. It was kicked well past him. Just really waiting for this game to settle down into a rhythm. We've had very little opportunity to get any flow going. It's been probably the most stop-start game I've seen so far this season in the Osbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup. 10 minutes in, we've seen maybe 2 completed sets and a try. 3 or 4 scrums. And 1 penalty, I would reckon, is my count at the moment. We don't keep the official stats. hard enough to call the play without having to keep tabs on all of those details. Oh, good hit. That was Jamal Nachuki in defence. The Bushrangers starting to power up a little bit faster now. Mitchell leading the defensive attack, the defensive formation for them. And Woden not making it terribly quickly up the ground. It's Norden Skipness for them. Fullback Tors comes into play it through dummy half, gives it off to Jeffrey Morgan. Morgan tipped up and over in the tackle, but he managed to get the ball away to Mackenzie, the 5'8". Nearly at halfway. They'll come across to the right. Now that's through Leapai. Leapai keeps going and going and going, does Leapai. He breaks out of one tackle. The tackle has another crack. He keeps going. He's charged about 15 in the tackle. Gets all the way up now. He's about 5 metres out from the line is Ron Leapai. Last tackle. They've got the numbers if they can get it out wide. Instead, they try and charge it through, and I think that's going to be held up either just short or just over. Just short of the line, the referee rules a changeover. That was a better-looking set from the Woden Valley Rams, and they try and sneak a 7th tackle in. Crafty. Very crafty. Might have been Thomas Hicks doing that over on that far corner. Now, you've got one of the Rams players down there. I'm not sure whether it's Leapai who's down. If it is, that's going to be a little bit disconcerting for them. He's jogging off, so can't be anything too serious. He's not actually jogging off, he's just getting well out of the way. He's on the ground just inside the 40-metre line as the Bulls get a relieving penalty to bring it out. So they'll restart play about 35 out from their own line. Leapai, now strictly speaking, will be in an offside position, but the play's not going to be anywhere near him for the time being. Just try and keep an eye on him as the play continues. Looks like he's just getting his left ankle strapped or re-strapped. Pulls up to the halfway mark. It was Matt Holmes who made that play for them. I tell you, they're finding it easy to make metres in the middle of the park at the moment of the Bulls. They come across to the right. Quinn Cannon over there. They are now spread out all the way across. Ron Leapai's rejoining the defensive line for Woden Valley, so he's okay. Now it's the fullback, Ewing, Dane Ewing. 25 out. They're across to the left through Murray. Long ball to Donovan, might have been forward. Pollard gets it, puts it down for a try. Referee's going to blow the whistle for the try to Jaden Pollard over in the corner. I've got my suspicions over one of the passes in there, but the touch judge didn't call it. I am on a bit of an angle, so let's see how we go. That's the one that I thought might have been forward. Very hard to tell from this angle. The pass to Pollard was certainly flat. Let's have another look here from Murray across to Donovan. No, it's probably okay. Jaden Pollard in for his first try of the afternoon. Josh Mitchell probably wondering what he's going to do to get a slightly easier conversion, because the first one was from maybe a foot inside where this one is to be taken. Leading up to that Pollard try, bear in mind we'd seen Donovan try to get one out to Pollard via a kick earlier this afternoon. That's not a bad-looking conversion attempt from Josh Mitchell. The applause and the sound of the whistle give it to you that Josh Mitchell's converted that one. He's done very well there from way out wide. It's 10-0. The Tuggeranong Bushrangers over the Woden Valley Rams. And as I was saying, Pollard and Donovan, Bo Donovan, the wing and the centre, the 2 and the 4, certainly working well with each other at the moment. Now the Rams need some possession here. They haven't seen much of the ball of late. Very hard to score when you don't have it. Some might say impossible. Bushrangers on the charge again. Uluakiola. They're across to the right through Murray. He dummies, gets it up to the 40. fact, even makes another couple of metres on top of that. You see Mitchell, the captain, comes in. Uluakiola and Papali could have raffled it there. It was Mikey who took it. Last tackle for the Bushies. They go to the left. They've got 3-on-3. Kick comes from Murray. It's picked up instead by, now is this Carl Johnson? It is Carl Johnson. Cast your mind back to the 88 Olympics. You had Ben Lewis and Carl Johnson, put them together, and you get a man with that kind of speed down the sideline unopposed, and he goes the length of the field for a try against the run of play. But it closes the gap. And Carl Johnson, enjoy that one on the highlight reel, mate, because that's a good try. Could be a high-scoring affair here this afternoon. What have we had? 17 minutes, not even. 3 tries in the books. And Carl Johnson does well. That will be a much-needed fillip for the Phillip-based side. Sorry. And what did he go? Must have gone 80 metres on that. We've got a bit of time here. Let's have a quick look. He's just retrieved it, yeah, just inside his own 20, and he's off to the races. There's no way anyone was going to stop him. He's in racing parlance, he's won that one easing up in the final furlong. Nice try to Carl Johnson. And that's certainly the longest range try I've seen so far this season in the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup. We're getting a bit of time being taken here about the conversion. The man taking the conversion's got no one to blame but himself for it being a hard kick. I think he could have possibly gone round and made this a little bit easier for himself, Johnson, but in the end, it's as good as makes no difference. If there was a black dot on the crossbar, that would have been straight over the top of it. Splitting the uprights perfectly as Carl Johnson converts his own try, narrows the gap to 4 points. And with 18 minutes gone, it's the home side, the Bushrangers 10, the Rams 6. All the action for you this afternoon on Bar TV. And no mucking around, we are back in action already. It's the cliche, isn't it? Much needed try, but that certainly was for the Woden Valley Rams. You could imagine if Gungahlin had scored next, it would have started to really put some pressure on the Rams, and they would have had to get out there and start doing a few different things. As it is, just a four-point difference midpoint of the first half. Stephen Ferry was bringing that one up, and he just looked to grab at his leg for a second there as he went at a shot, but he's okay. He's just walking up at the moment, though. Johnson with the kick downfield. It'll be Ewing or Pollard. Ewing takes it on the full. Just turns and goes straight up the middle. No fear or favour. Didn't worry about the fact that there were 3 Rams players waiting for him, and 2 of those same Rams get in on the tackling action again in Pazantzis and Tors. And now Tors, the fullback, drops back. Ball's come loose. Now that's been fielded there by Thomas Hicks for the Rams. So the Rams will get another set here. They'll start inside the opposition 40. They come across the field through Stephen Ferry after a couple of passes. They come left again. Leapai waits for it, doesn't get it. Oh, past a nobody. That could be dangerous. No call held in there. In the end, I think it was Pazantzis who dived back and got it. He did well. You see Stephen Ferry go in there. His head bounces around like the ball inside a bell as he's tackled. Now it's Leapai. Still Leapai. But finally gets out of the tackle, but only to stumble forward. That's the 10-metre line you can see on your screen. They come across to the right now through Johnson. Johnson with a little kick. Fielded well by Jaden Pollard. He's having a game so far today and actually makes it out about 10 metres further out than I thought he was going to. Nicely done by Jaden Pollard for the Bushrangers. Now it's with Dale Ewing. Out towards his own 20 is Ewing. They continue forward. Life's about to get a bit easier for me in the commentary box because we've got Papali and Uluakiola out there. They're very similar in build. One's got some black strapping on his arm, but they're both similar in build. They've both got red boots on. They've both got similar haircuts. One of them's just about to come off and indeed has now been subbed off. Tupu gets his first touch for the day. He's only just come on. Now it's Mitchell. Slight slip. He tries to get forward, does Wayne Bullock on, dare we say, a bullocking run. Referee says have another go. Is that Brent Wallace out there now? I think it might be. Was indeed. They switch it back to the left. Murray looks outside, finds Uluakiola. Uluakiola bursts out of the tackle, puts the long ball out to Pollard, and he goes in for his second one for this afternoon. When you've got the first try scorer setting up the second try scorer to make the third try for the day, Jaden Pollard demands in everything at the moment. We saw him setting up that set 6 down the far end of the field and then getting on the end of it. This is a beautiful switch of play from Gungahlin. That's just beautifully done. Leaves the Rams short-footed, short-numbered. Uluakiola breaks out of a couple of tackles because of that. Players about to charge in. Pollard left unmarked, well outside. Look at this. This is just beautiful. That is no short ball. And just quietly, that's a very clever little pass there, almost a no-look pass from Blake Murray onto Mikey Uluakiola. We're back to the 8-point gap. 23 gone. First half. It is 14 points to 6. Tuggeranong over Woden Valley here at Greenway. So Woden, having closed the gap, they've got it all to do again. So Uluakiola has a try and a try assist this afternoon. Great change of direction in there from Gungahlin. Just that change of the focal point of attack, spinning it long to the right, then back long to the left from in front of the posts. And that's curving back. It's curving back. That's a pretty good kick. And Josh Mitchell, he started it off to the left. There's no breeze here, or very little breeze here this afternoon, so it just curved. And Mitchell gets the conversion over. So we're back out. We're out now to a 10-point ball game again. 16-6 the score. And there's about 16 to go before half-time. Well, I said it earlier, and I'll have to say it again. The Rams need some possession. Because at the moment, it's just looking far too easy for the Bushrangers. Bo Donovan and Blake Murray teaming up there. That's with Uluakiola again. He just makes distance every time he gets the ball. Donovan runs from dummy half. He's tipped up past the horizontal. He's okay, but there'll be the penalty issued here. A little bit of a surprise when you see the earth rushing up at you like that, but Donovan, he's okay. Now the referee is calling someone out from Woden Valley. At this stage, just a bit of a conversation, saying, let's just keep it sensible out there, keep them down, we don't need to tip anyone over. The Bushrangers this time not going for a heap of distance on their attacking play on the penalty. Instead, they set up about 45 out, make 10 on the first. Mitchell goes across to Tupu. Tupu takes it inside the 30. Every time they've got options left and right. They go from Bullock. He passes it on to Cannon. He's got support. Might be Nachuki out there. No, they don't come back to the left. Instead, running from dummy half was Mitchell. Almost caught the Woden Valley defence napping, trying to go down what was a very short blind side. The Rams got on top of it, turned him around and pushed him back into touch on the far side. So the Rams will get some possession. When was the last time the Rams had the ball? It's been a while. With 14 minutes to go, there's just 10 points the difference before half-time. The Rams have some work to do here. They need to actually get this ball down the other end and get a repeat set. That's, I think, super important for them at the moment. First tackle off the scrum gets them absolutely nowhere. Sneak another metre perhaps in there in the play of the ball. Now, Tupu needs to be careful there. He was just lifting. Bit of a juggle from Luke Johnson, but he hangs on to it. They come across to the right. Luke Hicks. A bit from Luke Hicks. I haven't seen much from Thomas Hicks this afternoon in the last few minutes. To see if he's gone to the bench. Hallam is out there, so they have made a couple of changes. Now that kick is interesting, and I think a complete waste of time because it's gone straight to Ewing for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. And as a result, they're back in the thick of it. Oluwakiola was offside there, so he put his hands in the air. Izzy Afamui, we haven't seen a lot from him this afternoon. That's probably his first real impact play. It was winger to winger, playing the ball in dummy half. Bo Donovan. That's with Murray. Gets it to Tupu. Tupu loses the ball forward, and for mine, that's just a knock-on. Referee calls it a knock-on. Jaden Pollard tries to go for the sucker play, picks the ball up and keeps on going. But right on the halfway line, or just short of the halfway line, Woden will get a chance to set up here. It's 12 minutes till the break. I think rarely for Canberra Raiders Cup action that we've seen so far this year, we've had, one stoppage in the first half, only about 45 seconds. Game day clock says 11:45 remaining. So what can the Rams do this time? First time forward it was Vato. Across to the left to Johnson. Looking long, finding Luke Johnson now. And Luke Johnson, well, the ball pops out of his hands and it's either gone out of his hands and into touch or his body's gone into touch before he's lost it. But either way, once again, the Rams unable to make the most of their opportunities here. And their opportunities have been few and far between this afternoon. 16 points to 6. In some ways, the Rams can count themselves lucky to only be down by 10 points. They have really had very little possession this afternoon. You see that ball come out there. I understand what they're doing because they are 10 points down, but they really, first things first, need to be using up their sets. We've seen them go early for kicks on a couple of occasions, and it has just cost them dearly. Because all they're doing is handing over possession. Where's Tautai? Now it's back to Josh Mitchell. Mitchell still going. Not quite at the halfway. Gee, their attacking line gets set early for the Bushrangers. Bullock had the choice to go himself or pass it, went himself. Now it's Mitchell again, runs from dummy half. I think that's the fourth. Ball comes out the back. It's been picked up by Afamui. Afamui charging for the corner. He pushes over. He's about 5 metres out. Has he got support? We've got a whistle. So he'll get to get set again, and that will play well and truly into the Bushrangers' hands. It'll be Tautai who's taken that into touch in the far corner, trying to just charge it over from dummy half, but instead is bundled into touch. As I was saying a few minutes ago, the Woden Valley Rams, they're lucky that they're not further down. Yeah, just into touch, you see the corner post go a-flying. We've got 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining before half-time. A 10-point margin, which should have been more, but the Rams could feasibly go in level if they can hold on to it. I've seen enough in their attacking play to say that they're a better side than what we've seen here in the first 30 minutes of this game. But they've got to hang on to it. Is that Veto? Just gets tapped on the way through. No, actually it's the sub. It's Charlie Hallam who's come out there. So apologies for the wrong name. Sometimes a bit hard to pick these guys, especially when they've got the headgear going. Carl Johnson, the halfback, with the penalty. Now the Rams this time, you'd think they've got to do something with this. This is probably their best opportunity in about 10 minutes. The Johnson try came in the 18th. That was against the run of play, so probably even longer than that 10-minute mark. Now they're well set across to the right. Daniel Pryor, he's coming off the bench. They're still set to the right. Now it's with Johnson. Johnson dummies the pass, gets it off through hands. It goes to Joshua Feeney, and he scores in the corner. And that's what I'm talking about. This Rams side, they're better than they've shown in the first half an hour of this game. They're in for the try with about 7.5 left on the clock. Good little dummy there. Quickly through the hands, and it gets into Feeney. Very clever dummy from Johnson there, because he had Leapai. You'll see it here. There's Leapai in the 10. And you could be forgiven for just thinking, if you're a Bushrangers defender, that that's where the attack is going to come from, because we've seen on numerous occasions this afternoon Leapai be that focal point of the attack. But instead, it's the dummy for him. Feeney scores in the 33rd minute. Gaps back to 6, could go back to 4. So Carl Johnson setting that one up. You can give him, I suppose you can't really give him the assist because he didn't give the last pass, but he certainly set it up. And now he looks to add the extras. It was a pretty similar spot. He's kicking this one from his last conversion, and he nailed the last one with absolutely no trouble. I've got to say thanks to the players for setting up their conversion kicks directly between the camera and the post for us so far today. And as you can see there, not a problem in the world for Carl Johnson. We're back to a 4-point ball game, 6 minutes remaining in the first half. 16 points to 12. The Tuggeranong Bushrangers lead the Woden Valley Rams. Said it before the game that I thought this game would be a fairly close affair. These two sides separated by 1 point on the competition table at the moment. And the Rams, well, I said it a few minutes ago, they could go in front at half-time. They've got a chance to do that now. Across to the left, a couple of players running dummies. It goes to Carl Johnson again. Off to hands, is that Feeney again? No, it's Sean Maloney. Feeney was the next man out. They come back across to the left. Charlie Hallam involved in that play. Jesse Torres was the next man up. They couldn't get it to him. Instead it was Jeff Morgan who was tackled. Now it comes to Maloney again, getting himself involved in the game after having started on the bench. Johnson, left foot kick, down to the corner. It bounces, and it goes in touch in goal, and we'll come back out to the 20 metres for a restart. 4:45 remaining on the clock in the first half. 4 points the difference. Tuggeranong Bushrangers versus the Woden Valley Rams. A reminder, you can get in touch with me. I'll have a check of Twitter during the half-time break. You can tweet to me at CR Cup. Plenty of other scoring details as well of Canberra Raiders Cup games on that Twitter feed while we're broadcasting live on Bar TV. Hashtag CR Cup is what to look for. Back at the halfway mark for the Bushrangers. They come across to the left through Matt Dragizic. Another bench player getting involved now. That's a pretty ordinary looking kick from Mitchell. That's a very ordinary looking kick from Mitchell. It's gone well and truly out on the full. So the last few minutes of this half not going Gungarland's way. We've seen the Rams score. We've seen the Rams get set up again. Kicked out on the full. Yeah, I think it was the last tackle, so it's just the changeover. It was the last tackle. Hallam in a dummy half, and now we've got... Oh, we're going to have another go. Okay, well, let's have take two. 3 minutes 14 remaining till half-time. Do we go in with the 4-point lead to the Bushies? Or do the Rams have something to say about that? We've got a penalty now. A little bit of sloppy play, a little bit of ill discipline from those Bushrangers. Carl Johnson will be looking to go very deep here, and does. This will be about 25 out when the Rams regather. Bring it out. Long ball. Maybe Lawler. Is it Lawler or Maloney? Well, he's got up to go. Now, what have we got here? The referee's asserting something, and I've got to confess I was looking just a little bit across to see. I thought that we'd had a call of held, so I was looking across to the far side to see whether the Rams were set up, so I didn't actually see the potential infringement. But obviously, someone from the Bushrangers has done something that's upset the referee for a moment. Okay, so he's calling a penalty. At this point, you'd just think they'll take the tap and go. They do through Hallam. He gets it out wide to Vato. They are really set up here. They could go across anywhere from the right. They go from McKenzie. Maybe Leapai in the middle of that. Got extra numbers to the right. Running it from dummy half is Hallam. He sends the ball free. It gets touched on the way through, does it? Yes, it does. Knocked on. Knocked on by a Bushrangers player. I keep saying Bulls. I've seen the Bulls that many times this season. Old habits die hard. Knocked on by the Bushrangers. They're in no hurry to pack down in the scrum. Quite frankly, neither are the Rams by the looks of it. There will be time for the scrum to get set. If I was the Rams, I'd be keen as mustard. The scrum going down on the 10-metre line with about a minute and a half to go. Watch them go now. That's Tautai. He's taken short. They come across from... Sorry, it was Vato, not Tautai. Come across from Hallam across to Lawler. They've lost metres on that play. Hallam. Now on to Carl Johnson. Across to the far side might be Vato again. He's short of the line. They've got an extra man at the moment outside. They've still got an extra man out to the left. Oh, he's been held up over the line. Okay. And the referee again just saying, let's stop play. Let's get reset on this. Now, this would be the fourth tackle. 48 seconds to go. I reckon we're on the fourth. Pryor heads for the line. He's short about 2 metres. He's still going, still pushing, still pushing, still pushing. Finally, he's held. This must be the fourth now because there's no hand in the air from the referee, but the kick comes. It goes into the in-goal area. Pushed back there by Tupu for the Bushrangers. He's going to have to come out and drop this out from the goal line. 20 seconds left. So I'm guessing there'll be just enough time because the referee's going to potentially blow time off here in a second. There'll be just enough time for one, maybe two plays for Woden Valley, but it's not going to do them much good because this kick, when it comes, should be very, very deep. Oh, the ball has been conveniently rolled away over the dead ball line. The ref still hasn't called time off. So we don't get the restart. Bushrangers playing a little bit clever. And Woden Valley perhaps taking a bit too long to get set into that scrum about 2 minutes before half-time. And at the break, it is the Bushrangers 16, the Rams 12 on Bar TV. We've got a cracking second half coming up here from the Greenway enclosed oval. It's been tries for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Jaden Pollard has a double. Mikey Uluakiola has one as well. And Josh Mitchell has 2 from 3 with the boot. And for the Rams, it's a try and 2 conversions to Carl Johnson and a try to Joshua Feeney. Half-time, 16-12 at Greenway on Bar TV. Makes you realise how good we've got it at bloody Kipax and they can get right up high.
Get out here and they go back across that way. They just take off and you've got to really try and catch them because you're down low. You want it?
Great camera work on that length of the field try, by the way. Sorry? Great camera work on the one that went the length of the field.
Oh, yeah.
You caught everything on that. As you can see, picturesque conditions here for football. If we pan across a bit more to the right, you can just see the some of the latter afternoon rays of sun catching some of the hilltops just between the goalposts there. Get across, there we go. You can see it just coming into shot now. So, and the clouds coming up from the south. So the good news for Canberra is that means it's probably not going to be as cold a night as we've had. We've had a couple of sub-zeros earlier in the week. First half largely dominated by the Tuggeranong Bushrangers here. They lead 16 points to 12. They had, I would suspect, probably a good 65% of the possession in that first half. They really had a lot of play. The Rams, they managed to cough up the ball on far too many occasions, and in some ways can count themselves lucky to be only down by 4 points. Jaden Pollard, he is one of the leading try scorers in the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup. Before today's game, he had 5. So he's had a double today. That takes him to 7. Brent Crisp from the Queanbeyan Kangaroos, the leading try scorer in the comp, had 7 before the day. I'm not sure what's going on with the Roos today. So certainly Pollard potentially giving himself a bit of a lead. For Woden Valley, they are without their 2 leading try scorers for the season so far. Michael Gilmore, he scored 5 for the season. He's not there today, 5 in 3 games. Cleveland McGee for the Woden Valley Rams. He's had 4 games and he's scored 4 tries. He's not out there either. So I think we can safely say Woden with a little bit less attacking potency than they would like. We're going to go a long way down the list to find the next one. Jack Hickson had 2. And indeed, Jack Hickson's not in the side today. So that's Woden Valley Rams without their 3 top try scorers for the season today, if I'm reading things correctly. And that kind of stuff will make it difficult for you. For the Bushies, well, as we mentioned, Jaden Pollard, he's got 5. Josh Mitchell, he's got 4 for the season. So Pollard's got 7. Josh Mitchell hasn't scored a try today, but he has thrown a couple of conversions in. And Wes Tautai, he'd scored 4 before today, yet to get going for today. I really have been impressed by Mikey Uluakiola for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers today. He and John Papali have worked really well together, providing a very powerful set of circumstances in the forwards for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Dane Ewing's been good at fullback. Jaden Pollard has been swift on the wing. So plenty of players chipping in for the Bushrangers. For Woden Valley, Luke Johnson was involved a bit early, as was Thomas Hicks. Carl Johnson probably their outstanding player at the moment, but Charlie Hallam started on the bench. He certainly made his presence felt when he came on, and I'm just watching as the Rams come out now. I would be very surprised if Hallam started the second half on the bench, and indeed he starts on the field for the second half. Before play gets underway again, I'll see if I've got any scores at all. I can tell you that the Bulldogs lead Gungahlin 22 points to 6. That's the only other score that I have at this stage. That's a half-time score, so that's the Goulburn Workers Bulldogs 22, the Gungahlin Bulls 6. So that's in Goulburn this afternoon. Looks like a beautiful sunny day there today. 4 points the difference, 40 minutes to be played here between the Bushrangers and the Rams. The Bushies take it up. First up, interesting from Quinn Cannon to try and trap that with his feet. Now it's Nachuki. Up to the 30. You might see a really attacking start to this second half from the southern side, from the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. They kick this. Major's going to touch it, turns around and comes back infield. So Jesse Torr's able to pick it up just inside the 20. He's wrapped up just outside the 20. Vato runs from dummy half. Doesn't make too much distance. Hallam in the headgear, goes across to the right. Gives it to Luke Johnson. Up to the 40. Defence from both sides has been good in the first minute of the second period. That's Lawler, Ruben Lawler. Didn't see a lot of him in the first half. And has he lost that in the bottom there? Just wait for the call from the ref. I think he might have. There's a scrum going down. He's indicating a feed to Tuggeranong. So Lawler, just a little knock on in the bottom of that tackle. First mistake from the Rams in the second half. And it'll be the Bushrangers to go into attack. That's Dane Ewing. He's been impressive at fullback for them today. The custodian may have had an arm of McKenzie there, trying to milk another penalty. Izzy Afamui charges forward now. That's the 30-metre line you can see in your picture. Mitchell at dummy half, gives it off to Nachuki. They make 10. Now it's Wallace. Was meant to start today. Late change to the bench. Now it's Bullock. Back inside they find Ewing. And Ewing pushing himself forward in the tackle. And in the tackle we're on to the last. Does that come off the goalpost? I think it might have done. It rebounds. It's been picked up off the ground by Cannon. Referee's called 6 again, I believe, so Cannon's aware of that. He hangs on to it. They're only a couple of metres out. They've got a full set of 6 here. Lose the ball from Mitchell. It's gone backwards. Murray charges forward. Hasn't gone backwards. Must have gone forwards first. A little bit of excitement there. Yet another close range attacking set. Comes to nothing. We've seen so much of that here this afternoon. Now the Rams, they need to find a gap. If they can't find a gap, they need to find a way around, and that's what they seem to be looking. Maybe working it harder towards the edges. I think that's Maloney. Hallam in a dummy half. Joel McKenzie was in there as well. They push forward. Through Leapai. Come back to the left now, give it to Daniel Pryor. Bushrangers were up too quick. Penalty for the Rams. They can make some metres here free of charge. I'll kick the ball away because I know the referee's looking the other direction from one of the Bushrangers. Carl Johnson. How many metres does he make here? Well, the touch judge had that absolutely perfectly worked out. He was standing 45 out, didn't move, it went right over his head. Feeney to Carl Johnson. Carl Johnson, long ball. Another one cuts out to Daniel Pryor. Up to the 40. Hallam, I think that's Lawler. They just can't get up quickly and play it. Great spoiling tactics being used by the Bushrangers. Now it's with Tors. Is it a cross? Might have been Feeney in there. No, it's still Tors. They come back. And it's Hallam again with the headgear. Little chip comes through and it's taken well taken by Jaden Pollard. He was great in attack in the first half, great in defence on this occasion. 5 minutes gone in the second half. 4 points the difference. And get ready for the two bookends to come back on for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. John Papali and Mikey Uluakiola. They're coming back on as a set. Also coming back on is Matt Holmes. But they're on the fly through Pollard. He looks on the inside. It's not Pollard. There's Pollard on his inside. So who's that? That might be Donovan. Had Pollard on the inside. So Pollard comes into dummy half. Rams slow to get back onside. Now it's Murray. Comes across to Cannon. Quinton Cannon bounces out of the tackle from Lawler. Very slippery little customer. Mitchell runs on the last, gives a pretty ordinary pass to Tautai. Tautai puts it out the back door. It goes towards Afamui, but he can't get there and it goes into touch. This game going from end to end at a far faster rate in the second half than we saw at any stage of the first half. It's the Rams to take it forward. They don't get too much on the first tackle. Vato gets them up to about 25 metres out. Where do they go? They keep going up the middle, trying to soften the hole in the Bushrangers at the moment. Now it's with Leapai. He does well to make it up to the halfway line. Another one through Carl Johnson. Johnson with a short ball. And he runs it himself with the kick. That's a pretty good kick. It bounces just inside the 10 and then turns almost exactly 90 degrees to go into touch inside the 10. Everyone will get another chance to suck in a couple of deep ones. As play comes back down for a restart. It actually wound up being on the 10-metre line, this scrum in the end. It is a 10-metre scrum. There we go. Just occasionally, it's a bit hard to tell from the angles here. Over in that far corner, we don't have a lot of altitude again from our commentary position, but it's better than the card table on the sideline, I can tell you that. They come across to the outside. Pollard's been getting himself in everything for the attack for the Bulls. Tries to get a penalty, can't get it. Now it's Cannon. Not sure which one of the boys from the Bushrangers it is on this occasion. He's certainly going at speed. That's Matt Holmes. Holmes still going. Offloads, gives it to Ewing, I think it might have been. Ewing on the 40. There's a lot of holding down in the tackles. It's going from both sides. Now, I don't have a problem with a penalty being given for it. I hope that one goes the other way if it is warranted. Obviously, some chit-chat out there and a march of 10 metres as well. So the Bushrangers will be in deep attacking territory. There's been a lot of that holding down going on both ways. Now, the referee's decided enough is enough. That's fine, but he's got to make sure he's consistent with it. Mitchell gives it to Uluwakiola, his first play in the second half. He's still going. He's up to 10 metres out. Where's Papali? There he is. He takes it to 5, make it 4, maybe even 3 metres short of the line. Across to the right through Cannon. Where's Tautai? Still going is Wes Tautai. Metre short. Someone's lost a shoe. It's been thrown out over the dead ball line. Charging forward, Matt Holmes. Not a split here between him and the play of the ball on the line now. Kick through comes from Murray. It's been picked up in the defence from the Woden Valley Rams. I think that might actually be Luke Johnson over there who's got that. It is indeed. He's wrapped up in the in-goal area, so there'll be the restart courtesy of the line dropout. Tuggeranong Bushrangers will get yet another set. The case of the missing boot has been resolved. The owner has been reunited with it out over the back of the dead ball line. Luke Johnson did well to stay alive as long as he did there. Now they'll be looking for the long line dropout, and it's a good enough one. It goes half the length of the field. Papali gets the pass and able to wind up and is intercepted at full speed on the 30 and adds another 5 metres just through momentum. They're taking their time to get up. Already been penalised once for that. Bullock. His turn. They come back to the right. They've got Holmes there. And that's indeed who they go for. It's just the traditional give it to one of the big boys, and they've got plenty of them, the Bushrangers. Across to the right. Now it's with Cannon. On to Afamui. Back to the left. No, little kick comes through from Mitchell. Now that's gone to ground. And I think it's been knocked dead. So let's have another look at that if we can and just see what happened in there. This will be another set. We've got a player down injured in the care of the trainer. So the kick comes through, and that's a pretty good effort there from Daniel Pryor, I think it might have been, from the Rams. It is to tap that ball dead because there were two players closing on that at a great rate of knots. Now, I don't know who the player is who's injured here because you can see exactly what I can here. And they don't put numbers on the backs of players' shorts, but he's okay, he's up. And the Bushrangers will get yet another set. This will be set number 3 in a row, I think, for them. It was Afamui who was down. He is back up and okay. They kick it towards him, but Cannon comes in, takes the catch. Off to Holmes. Holmes up over the 30, up to the 25. And he's lost the ball in there. That really has been the story of this game this afternoon. Teams getting themselves into decent attacking positions and then losing the ball. We've seen it time and time again. Haven't seen a lot of teams lose the ball at their own end of the field, but we've seen it plenty of times inside the opposition 30 and even inside the opposition 10. And now a bit of chit-chat going on in there. And we saw a penalty go against the Rams for some chit-chat before. Now a penalty goes against the Bushrangers for some chit-chat. Now Johnson, with that kick, he's judged it fairly well, gets it just outside the field of play. They're up at about the halfway. What can the Rams do? A couple of quick passes, it gets to Charlie Hallam. Oh no, there's Hallam there. That was actually Ferry the first up, and then it was Hallam. Apologies. Both got the black headgear on. Now it's with Johnson. Carl Johnson gives it off to Jesse Torres. Jesse Torres, he's found Luke Johnson. So they've made plenty of metres. They're only about 8 out. A little bit sloppy in their line, but it goes to Ron Leapai. Leapai charges for the line. He gets down. Does he get the ball down? He's rolled over. He tosses the ball in the air. He thinks he's got it down. The referee says he's got it down. We've got a tied game with a kick to come here. The Woden Valley Rams score, courtesy of Ron Leapai. Let's see how this came about. A couple of long balls. Leapai was not, in the purest sense of the word, set up in the line. He was set up ahead of the line. You see the pass comes across from the halfback, Carl Johnson. He spotted that Leapai had already cribbed a couple of metres. And he was able to get up to momentum before he was tackled, forcing the ball down. And despite, I think we can say, being largely outclassed for most of this game, the Woden Valley Rams have a golden opportunity to take the lead with 26 remaining on the clock. Leapai with the try. Carl Johnson's whipped the headgear off, and after kicking two easy ones, after kicking two difficult ones from way out wide, he sends one to the side of the uprights for almost directly in front. So, you can scrub the first 65 minutes of this game, or 55 minutes of this game, I should say, because now it's all tied up with 25 to go. 16 points apiece. Live Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup action for you on Bar TV this Saturday afternoon. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the mums for tomorrow. Where would football be without mums? Well, the Bushrangers were trying to pull a penalty in there, and in the end it's gone against them. Sometimes you can play your cards a little bit too hard. Carl Johnson has gone looking for extra metres there. Afamui woke up to it. Thought it might have fallen a bit short. He might have been able to leap up and tap it back in. But Johnson had judged it inch perfect. On the charge is Jeffrey Morgan now for the Rams. And again, not being given any time to get himself up. Just seemed to have developed multiple running options in this second half that we didn't see from the Rams in the first 40. And the Tuggeranong Bushrangers defence just seemingly struggling a bit to keep up with the variety of attacking options that the Rams have. Now it's with Ferry. Ferry bounces out of one, spins out of a second, wrapped up on the third attempt by Nachuki and Mitchell. And I think Mitchell stayed down. The kick comes through. Fielding is at Afamui. Did well to actually hang on to that. It looked like an awkward one, but he's fielded it in the in-goal area. So it'll come back to the goal line for a dropout. And Josh Mitchell taking plenty of time to get up. He's still on the ground just inside the 20. He's just out of shot there. If we move a little bit to the right, you'll spot him. There he is there. So just taking a bit of time to get up. The trainer having a chat. The referee having a chat. I think he'll be okay. He is indeed. So we've taken a few seconds more than we needed, but Mitchell's the man who's going to do the kicking for the Bushrangers to give it back to Woden. And it's fielded by Vato. How can he go? Bounces out of one with a no thank you ma'am, and almost gets away. Just taken around the ankles by Heyman. But the Rams in a good attacking position. They go forward through Morgan now, 10 metres out. Morgan offloads, finds Lawler. Lawler tries to go underground. Right in front of the post. They come back to the left through Mackenzie. Over to Maloney, and it's a forward pass. Thought it might have been. Brave call, but I think he's got it right. I think he got it right. And we're starting to get into that part of the game now where the impact of a mistake is magnified, or a mistake potentially today in the next 20 minutes would be recognised or remembered more acutely than one in the earlier stages of the game. That's just human nature, isn't it? If we do stay all tied up, by the way, unless I'm very much mistaken, there's only been one field goal kicked in the Canberra Raiders Cup thus far this season. It was kicked by Carl Johnson for the Woden Valley Rams. I certainly don't recall another one at any stage of the season. Tautai for the Bushrangers gets up over the halfway. Mitchell's had a good day leading from the front. Now it's Holmes, still going. Must just be so nice for a dummy half to have players like Holmes, Papali, Uluwakiola, and Nachuki and Bullock to be able to give it off to. So many options for him, and there is one of those options now. Mikey Uluwakiola scored the first try of the day. Made plenty of metres. Now it's with John Papali. Papali forgets one thing in there, trying to push off his opponent, forgets to hang onto the ball. He's lost it forward, and it'll be a Rams scrum. Plenty of handshakes and backslaps going on there amongst the Rams as well. Not an easy man to dispossess, John Papali. You see this, he's got it, and he just forgets to hang on to the ball as he goes for the push. We're into the last 20 minutes officially now. 16 points apiece. referee's going over to the far side, and he's blowing time off at this point. He's getting a word from somewhere. I did mention earlier we tried to gain access to the referee's comms, but I could give you a very good impersonation at this point as to what we would hear if we were on the referee's comms. It would be... That's about all we were getting. So I have a whole lot of admiration now for the referees and the touch judges, because if that's what they get, I don't know how they understand each other. Either that or they're very good at ventriloquism, but there's certainly some sort of conversation going on there. We've got to play it down. Oh, that's what it is. We've got to play it down injured. I couldn't see that. Behind the scrum, or behind the two packs, I could not see Carl Johnson being treated there. So apologies for a little bit of levity, but Johnson appears to be okay. They'll need him. Like I said, he's the only man in the Osbreakers Canberra Raiders Cup to have kicked a field goal so far this season, and we may come to that yet. 16 points apiece, 19 and a half to go. Chris Coleman bringing in the action with the commentary on Bar TV this afternoon from the Greenway enclosed oval. Round 6 of the Canberra Raiders Cup. Luke Johnson, bustling run. For a winger, he really gets himself involved in a lot of the play as he goes back out onto that far side of the ground now to be on the wing again. He's not afraid to come into the middle. That might be Morgan. Last tackle called by the ref. The kick comes from Carl Johnson. It's a long way up. Now there's plenty of push and shove. They've given it back to a player in an offside position, and then it's been lost forward. So lost forward by the Rams in the end. Well, let's have a little bit of chaos ball. Let's go with that. That was just... I don't think anyone, other than perhaps... Was it Feeney out there? I think it might have been. Was expecting the kick from Carl Johnson. He read it better than anyone else, but then didn't have anything to do with it when it came down. 18 to go. We're across to the left. Dane Ewing, fullback for the Bushrangers, up to the 40. Come across to the right. Papali's ready for it. He wants it. Instead it goes to Nachuki. Jamal Nachuki gets it up over the halfway. Now it's Papali's turn. He won't pass. He'll just push away and try and make a few more metres. He's brought to ground by 3 Woden Rams. Has he lost the ball again, or has he been stripped? Ball's come loose. He's not happy. He is far from happy at this point, John Papali. Referee says he's lost it again. There was 3 in there and he's managed to lose it. I'd like to see how that works up close, because, gee, when there's 3 in there and you lose the ball, you'd like to think that someone from the other side's maybe given it a little bit of help to achieve exit velocity. But the referee's called it as he saw it. He's a lot closer than I am. Indeed, I was... the ball was on the other side of John Papali from me, so I can't really make any further comment other than to say that Papali was far from happy. But then again, that's 2 scrums in a row that he's given away. That's Feeney. First tackle off the scrum for the Rams. Now it goes to Luke Hicks. Hicks is bundled back over the halfway line, and the referee says, enough of that. I'd called held. There's no need to pick him up WWE style and slam him back. So you can have another penalty. The Rams starting to do a little bit better in the discipline stakes here. Johnson takes the penalty from right on halfway, and boy, he's made some ground there. He's taken it from the 50 to the 25. They have but a quarter of the field to play with here now. Feeney taps it, gives it to Johnson. Referee says no. Let's get everyone back on side and go again. We'll try it again. Feeney to Johnson. May as well have not done it again. And, he's lost the ball there. I think McKenzie might have been. Either way, he's kicked it forward, straight forward into Nachuki. Now, Nachuki's copped one high. No malice in it. It was just an unfortunate set of timing. He's feeling a little bit of an ill effect. It's about the only way they've been able to stop him today. He has been one of the battering rams for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers this afternoon. You see it here. Not sure who it is who's lost it. And he gets used as a step ladder, and then he kept Vato, who goes in. You see the attempted climb, and yeah, it's the second one there. No malice, no evil intention in there, just a little bit of poor timing, a little bit of poor placement. And Jamal Nachuki probably wishing that his nose was somewhere else, because I think that's what he's copped it, right on the end of the hooter. Chicks dig scars and pain is temporary, let's remember that. He certainly doesn't look terribly happy with things, Nachuki. He's having a look over. Did anyone get the number of the truck? Oh, we're going to get the mummy job here now. The tape goes around and around. Well, if anything, it'll make it easier to pick him out. Not that he's hard to pick out. Something I have noticed this afternoon, we have not seen anywhere near the variety of coloured boots at this game that we've seen in some other games this afternoon. I reckon for the Bushrangers, you've got 3, maybe 4 guys who've got the fluoro colours or the bright coloured boots, mostly in black and white. And likewise for the Rams, in fact, I think there's only 3 for the Rams who've got coloured boots as well, or largely coloured boots. Good old-fashioned footy on a Saturday afternoon at Greenway Oval. Could have made more metres out of that. I come across now through Bullock. Charges, gets up to the 40, up over the 40. There's Wayne Bullock. And across to the right. Who gets it? Papali. Now, he's lost it the last 2 times. I reckon he'll be giving it an extra tight squeeze as he goes to ground. He does, and he gets it. They come back to Holmes. Like I said, we haven't even seen Olu Akiola in this set. Is he there? No, Nachuki's ready. They come back the other way. Give it to one of the backs. The 5'8", Blake Murray it is. Probably could have gone for one more through the forwards there, but they're 20 out. 4th tackle. Wayne Bullock has his second run in this set. 8 metres out. Last tackle called. Mitchell, long ball to Murray, and he loses the ball forward. It has really been that kind of a day. We just keep seeing the ball lost in good attacking positions. Luke Johnson for the Woden Valley Rams tries to stay in the field of play. Referee eventually calls held, so we'll get it going. Just coming one off at this point, the Rams. Bit of push and shove, a little bit of a hold down. Vato finally makes some metres, about 10 of them. It might be Feeney, it is indeed. They've made next to nothing here. Last tackle, they're on their own 25. Any chance of a 40-20? Johnson kicks it from inside his own 30, but it's taken by Dale Ewing, who'd got himself in the perfect position to field it. Gets up to speed, he's dumped in the tackle, lands flat on his back just on the 40-metre line. 13 and a half minutes to go. 16 points apiece here at Greenway between the Tuggeranong Bushrangers and the Woden Valley Rams. They come across to the right now, the Bushies. Wrapped up quickly. Afamui goes into dummy half, runs it himself. This is interesting, seeing a couple of plays here in a row from the backs now for the Bushrangers. Quinlan Cannon getting set to come back on for the home side as well. Charging forward with the tape round his head is Jamal Nachuki. Across to the left, they cut the play out. Gets it with Murray. Murray gives it off to Papali. Papali back to Murray. Ball's on the ground, bouncing around like it's in a pinball machine. There's got to be a knock-on in there somewhere. The referee's found it. On the last tackle, he's called it a knock-on from the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. So Woden will get the ball back on their own 10-metre line for a handover. 12 and a half remaining. The Rams going with almost nobody on their blind side. So odds are they will come across to the left, and they do precisely that. Very tightly bunched. Luke Johnson, he's really been everywhere for them during the second half. Been a very busy man. Now it's with Vato. He's also been busy in the second half, was missing in patches in the first. But I've really been impressed with his second 40, trying to get out of the tackle. Slam to the turf. He goes back to the right now. Does Posantzis through to Leapai. Leapai crawling towards the 40. Posantzis again gives it to Carl Johnson. Johnson kicks from inside the 40. It's down inside the 10. It's down to the goal line. It's picked up by Ewing. No, in fact, it's gone to Pollard. Ewing leaving it for Pollard. Pollard brings it up the middle. Now it's with Ewing, the fullback. Bounces around through one. He's up over the 20. Across to the outside. Holmes, I think that might be. He's one of the big boys. He's lost it. He's lost it in there. It's actually Tupu who's lost that. Just wondering whether he was trying to force himself up there, whether he was trying to just shuffle and earn the penalty, or what he was trying to do, but would have been better to have just lay there for another second. Because the Rams could be a crucial play here. 11 minutes exactly on the clock on the scoreboard. Scrum is fed. They come to the left. There's only one other player out there. Oh, head clash. So Tautai and Maloney, heads bounced off each other there. Maloney just still looking like he's not entirely happy with things out there. Let's get back to the play though. So it's with Carl Johnson. Comes across, finds Ferry. Ferry pushing and pushing, still not brought to heel. Goes down now. Carl Johnson, he's had a look across to the right. Who's he got there? He's got a kick. It goes to Luke Johnson. Johnson takes it over his head and he's slung into touch. It was a clever play, not quite cleverly executed enough. But Carl Johnson had a good hard look across. And again, we've got a player down injured in back play. We've seen a bit of that today. He'd had the look. Johnson had obviously given him the signal, but it was well read by the Tuggeranong defence. And now we've got the referee blowing time off with 9:37 remaining. And if you can pick who that is from that angle, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din. My first thought was that it might have been Maloney because we'd seen that head clash, but it wasn't. It was actually their hooker, Costa Posantzis. Himself sorted out. Will he pack down into the scrum? Yep, there he goes there. You see him right in the middle of the picture. He looks to be okay. Oh, no, that's not him. He turns around again. So, where has Posantzis gone? Oh, he's out there. He's standing on the blind side. And now he's turned around and come off. So I don't think he really wanted to come off. But in the end, he doesn't actually look terribly well out there. Just wondering if there was a clash of heads in there. Referee calls time back on. 9:35 remaining and Tuggeranong have the ball. I'm just having a bit more of a look to see how Costa Posantzis is on the bench. That would be, yeah, he's getting a bit of, he's gone for the day, I suspect. Well, if he's gone off for a head injury assessment, there's only 9 minutes left in the game. The ball's come free here. Ball's come free here, but it's gone a penalty to the attacking team, to the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. That time it's been called as a steal from the Rams. If he's come off for a head injury assessment, then he'll be off for 10 and there's only 9 left. So his day is done. And we do hope that he's okay. Let's get back to the field of play now, because the Bushrangers suddenly find themselves with a chance to get some metres. They're only 40 out. Holding up play for a second. Papali was ready for it, but the passer wasn't ready to offload. So Papali had to slow up. Now it's Heyman. Quick run around play to Afamui. Afamui tries to barge through once, bounces back, tries to go through the same hole a second time. Makes another couple of metres. Cannon in a dummy half. Gives it to Heyman. Heyman across to Papali. Papali still going. He's got the ball in his left arm. He holds himself up with the right. Cannon comes back to the right. 10 metres out. Last tackle called. All tied up here at Greenway. Can the home side break the scoring deadlock? They can't. The ball's come free and it's gone through to the Rams, so they'll be able to play it on. No, they won't worry about playing it on. It's going to come back out of the 10 metres for a turnover. Johnson was very quickly onto that. He was alert to the ball coming adrift. Didn't try to do much else with it. 7.5 remaining. We are starting to get to field goal time. Vato. He's made plenty on that. Up over the 30. Quick play the ball, or quickish play the ball. Hallam in underneath it. Now it's with Johnson. Luke Johnson now. Luke Johnson going around like the catch of the day underneath it. Ron Leapai nearly loses it behind himself. Hangs on to it. That's the 40. Last tackle. Carl Johnson with the kick. Straight down the throat of Ewing. Dane Ewing goes across field trying to find somewhere. Pushes off the attempted tackle from, I think it might have been Vato again. Didn't do himself much good. They're across to the outside. Now, had Tautai realised it, he could have gone to the right, and there was nobody in his path. Instead, tried to step back infield. Opportunity missed, perhaps. Ewing again. Back to Cannon. Cannon going across field. Tackled by a couple, including Feeney. Cannon. Now on to Papali. Papali, he's had a shocker this afternoon. He's lost it a couple of times in tackles and now he's knocked it on again with relatively little pressure on him. He really hasn't had the best of afternoons today, John Papali. Certainly nothing to write home about. Just, that was there, and then it wasn't. 5:50 left on the game clock. Do the Rams start looking now to get themselves set up for the field goal as opposed to the try? Oh, he's absolutely slammed in the tackle there. That's Jesse Torres. He's been picked up by Wes Tautai, and he's landed. Now we've got to push and shove, and there's been I think that may have been a punch, a little short jab thrown in there, or was it a push? Question of interpretation. Smile, fellas, you're on candid camera. Plenty of push and shove. I mean, Torres was the man who was taken in it. Now the penalty will go to the Rams here. Maybe we can have a quick look while the referee has a conversation. The touch judge from the far side's come in for a conversation here as well. So there's going to be a bit of talk here. So we'll go to the replay. Here we go. So you see him picked up and flattened, flat backed. Now it is a slam. It's the stuff that goes on afterwards that really isn't necessary. And you can see arms start going in there. And I'd just like to know what it is that sends Torres to the ground the second time. So plenty of conversation right away from both groups of players at the moment, the referee and his two assistants. So we'll just keep looking at this. He's gone down. The push there, a little nudge. He throws the ball at him, which is completely unnecessary. That's just silly. And then Machuki has a bit of a go. Torres goes down. He wants to get back up and have another crack. Kev Vato's in the middle of it. Heyman comes in. Quinn Cannon's trying to calm down his teammates. Well done, that man. Now the conversation continues over there in the middle. Now, What have we got? We've got 4:59. So if anyone goes to the bin, it's as good as a send-off at this point. So now Ewing was one of the guys who came in late in my book. And we all know that referees don't like it when players come in late. And I would suspect that if there's 10 fingers held aloft here, there'll be multiple sets of 10 fingers being held aloft here because quite a few guys came in unnecessarily. I can tell you that there is officially 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining on the clock. It is 16 points apiece and we're just waiting to see what happens. Bunch of players there. Afamui is involved. Nachuki, we saw him come in and he did have a flailing arm for mine. Papali is in there as well. So Nachuki's been told, yeah, there'll be no ice cream for you tonight, no dessert. You've been a very naughty boy. You go back to your room. So he's back in the line with his teammates. Afamui's also being told, don't do it again. With 5 minutes to go, he won't have too many opportunities to do it again. Ewing's the one I'm concerned about. He was the first player called up. And I just reckon that there might be... Oh, well, there we go. So nobody's being sent from the Bushrangers. I think that Dane Ewing and John Papali could potentially count themselves lucky in there. Now the conversation continues. At the moment, it's just Stephen Ferry from the Rams. Ferry gesticulates, as you can see. Says, it's all happening over there. It's been happening all day, sir. Or something to that effect. Now, Afamui's going to pick up the ball. Which way's the penalty going to go? That's all that matters in the end. And the penalty's going to go to the Bushrangers. Well, the Rams, you've done yourselves no favours there. 4 players from the Bushrangers get talked to, but they picked up the penalty. Clock back on. Tick, tick, tick. Bushrangers will have the first crack to break the deadlock. 4:40 remaining. The littlest ball boy in the world takes plenty of time to get that one to the Bushies. It goes to Tautai. He's up to the 20. Both sides have had a couple of minutes to get their lungs full of fresh air for the final onslaught of 5 minutes. Now it's with Tupu. He keeps going and going. 8 metres out. Ball might have come loose in there. Referee says play on. Now it comes loose. Ewing dives on it, but he's called it a knock on from the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Ewing was away to the races. But all for nothing. He's found a little knock on in there. There's plenty of conversation going on. I tell you, right now is not the time to be getting into a conversation with the referee. Now you just get on and play with the game. There's bugger all left on the clock. There's 3:47 left. The longer you talk, especially bearing in mind that Woden Valley are feeding the scrum here, the fewer opportunities the Bushrangers are going to have. It might wind up being 3-2 in terms of that, but I doubt it will get through that many because this scrum's taking an eternity to go into place. So the Rams, they've got a long way to go. Luke Johnson hammered in the tackle. They're across to the left. Vato. Slammed to the ground. Tupu very slow to get up. Plenty of feeling in the last few minutes of this. There's a high tackle. I've seen it from up here. He's calling play on. Long ball goes to the outside to Luke Johnson. Now Johnson is bundled into touch, and now the referee's called time off. This will come back for this high tackle. You'll see it here. Clear as you like. He is absolutely coat-hangered. Comes up, and there's the arm of Papali. Very high. Plenty of impact. So this will be 2:54 left on the clock when we play. You'll see it one more time. And Papali, he may have made contact with the arm on the way up. It may have bounced off the arm or the shoulder. But either way, there's a penalty in it for sure. With 2:54 left on the clock, it'll put the Rams in a very good position. But the question is, how long is it going to take us to get back into the action here? Now, Papali's come over. I honestly don't believe there was any malice in it. It may well have come off the arm. It may well have just bounced off his left arm. And you got two blokes here who are both 100 plus kgs. One with the ball going full tilt, one in the defensive line going full tilt. There's body parts all over the place. And they're going to collide with each other. The good news is that Jeff Morgan's okay, or appears to be okay, although, they wouldn't want to be without him and Pezantzis for this last couple of minutes. Well, I suppose if they can get it down a long way, there's got to be a penalty in this. There just has to be a penalty. There's no sin bin or anything in this. It doesn't warrant that. This is just one of those inadvertent high tackles as Morgan makes his way off to a sizable round of applause. Now, the referee's spoken to his touch judge over the other side. This is the bloke he needs to talk to. He needs to come over this side because this is the bloke who should have seen it. The interchange officials come in here as well. So Morgan, I suspect, is officially off for a potential concussion test. Now, have we got the ground? Is this the ground manager being called in here? Something else has obviously gone on. I don't know what. But the ground manager, had a chat with him earlier today. I can't remember his name, but he's a nice bloke. Here he goes. Well, you don't see this every day. The ground manager gets called out for a chat with the referee and the touch judge. Now, I have no idea what this is about. I'm suspecting that maybe someone in the crowd has said or done something that's upset the touch judge. So, does the ground manager get 5 in the bin? 10 in the bin. I'm going to sit down for a minute because there's not very much happening here. So, something's been said or done off the field. The touch judge has obviously heard it. Ground manager's called in to do his job. So the ground manager's there. Now, back to the football. 2:54, as we've said on the clock. 16 points apiece. And, well, no penalty in that. No penalty for the high tackle. Obviously not spotted by the touch judge on this side. So, with 2:50, you see Luke Hicks slung to the ground a couple of times. The Rams need to make some distance. More important, they need to get themselves in position. Last tackle, they're in their own half. Forget about the field goal here. They need to get the ball way down the other end now. Chip comes through from McKenzie. Bounces twice before it's picked up by Ewing. Ewing goes nowhere. He's picked up and he's driven towards the sideline. The Rams not letting him stop. They put him down just outside his own 20. Rams have already had one drawn game this season. That was against the Yass Magpies a couple of weeks ago. Well, the Bushrangers not making any ground at all. 1:55 left on the clock. Still in their own half as he breaks through. Where's Tautai? He's got support on his left. He's got support on his right. He hands it up to Quinn Cannon, who scores under the posts to break the deadlock and win the game. Has he called it forward? He's called it. He's called it forward. Well, that's a huge call. You can see there Tautai coming up and he just breaks through the tackle. He keeps going and keeps going. Oh, geez. I've seen worse than that allowed. I've got to say I've seen worse than that called as well. So that's the way it goes. 1 minute remaining on the clock. barring some sort of catastrophe from their point of view, I can't see the Rams losing it. Mind you, I can't see the Rams winning it. They've got 70 metres to go. They've got 4 tackles to do it in. Can they do it? They go through Ferry. Still inside their own 40. 43 seconds left. He's taking an age to get up. That's a forward pass. It is a forward pass. 35 seconds. Push and shove. Push and shove. Forget the push and shove. Get the scrum pack. Doesn't matter who you put in there. Just get 6 blokes and pack it down. 25 seconds. 20 seconds. Scrum still not packed. 15 remaining. Has he called time off? He hasn't called time off. He has called time. Well, I've got 8 seconds on the clock. I can tell you it's still ticking. 3, 2, 1. No. There we go. There's the bell. There's the siren. And in the most anticlimactic of terms, we are denied one last chance to get a result other than a draw in that game. That's truly bizarre how that one has finished up. We saw a 16-12 scoreline at half-time, converted to a 16-all draw. A grand total of 1 try in the second 40 minutes. It's not going to take long to summarise that, I can tell you. If you weren't with us earlier, here's how the game unfolded. It was an early try to Mikey Uluakiola for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. It came 2 plays off a scrum. It was a nice try scored by that man, bustled over the line in the left-hand corner. That was 8 minutes. 8 minutes later, Jaden Pollard scored the first of his 2 tries for the day. It was a simple try through the hands, and they scored in the corner. That was converted at 10-0 after 16 minutes. It was looking very much like being the Tuggeranong Bushrangers' day. The Rams struck back through a try to Carl Johnson. He picked up a grubber kick, ran 80 metres and scored at the other end. He converted his own try. 18 minutes gone, it was 10-6. 16-6 came 6 minutes later when Pollard put his second one in. A magnificent assist from Mikey Uluakiola. Was converted. And then with 7 minutes before the break, Josh Feeney got a try. Was magnificently set up by Carl Johnson. And that was the half-time score, 16-12. The only try we got in the second half came 15 minutes in. It was Leapai who scored it for the Woden Valley Rams. He was magnificently set up by Carl Johnson. Johnson saw him into space. Leapai was standing a couple of metres ahead of his teammates, got up to speed and just bustled over, took a couple of defenders with him and forced the ball down. 16 points apiece after 55 minutes. 16 points apiece after 80 minutes. Next week for these sides, for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, it is a home game against the West Belconnen Warriors, and for the Woden Valley Rams, it is our Bar TV game of the day. They will be up against the Queanbeyan Blues. I will catch you for the action then next Saturday afternoon. On behalf of all the team at Bar TV and everyone at the Austbrokers Canberra Raiders Cup, this is Chris Coleman signing off for an afternoon of magnificent rugby league from the Greenway Oval.